up, Bunny Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89 of Nerdigans Inc. And well, this is 4KIDSING Dandadan. But before we get into this really frustrating story, we are at war with YouTube's algorithm, and it is slowly but surely killing my channel. And in order to defeat this algorithmic beast, we need you to please hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And because, of course, this channel, let alone this video, are not sponsored, if you love what we're doing and want to help keep me, my adorable passed out kitty right here, who has an eye bogey, and this operation literally alive and kicking, so we can keep bringing you more anime and manga content, whether it be for live reactions like for Dandadan, which we covered, like, I want to say literally a couple weeks before Viz got the license to localize it. Yeah, I've been covering it for a long time. Or news, analysis, and rants like this video. Feel free to hit up our Cash App and PayPal. Links are in the description box below, as well as the link to our Patreon where we are doing our anime live reaction content. Because unlike YouTube, where we constantly have to worry about getting a copyright strike for showing anything on the screen, well, Patreon, we don't have to worry about that. So we could have our full setup of the anime and manga side by side and have the audio to boot, which is not only great for busting a botched localization or two, but it's great for when we cover anime original content like, say, Dragon Ball Daima, which we do have episode 18 available for free. And we both obviously cover both the sub and the dub. And I'm telling you right now, go watch my episode 18 live reaction, because we really go in depth and we have some good theories on how Super Saiyan 4 foreshadows Super Saiyan God, and how it could possibly be foreshadowing Vegeta's ultra ego, like a perfected ultra ego. So please go check that out. And the more views and subscribers we get on Patreon, the more anime we'll cover. And hell, if you're a $10 patron, you get to choose the series we cover as well. And there's a stacked winter anime season in full swing and more on the way. So please check out our Patreon. The link is in the description box below. And the link to the Gizmodo article that you are seeing on screen is in the description box below as well. So I feel extremely vindicated and pissed off at the same time, because a while back I did a live stream covering how Viz was essentially 4KIDSing their localizations, and there was an old interview with Caleb Cook where he discussed this, that the editors were sanitizing the dialogue that, like, specifically Bakugo was using, because Bakugo cusses a lot. So that's why you see a little bit of a difference there. And it happens with One Piece and all that too. And I knew something was up based on that. And this was like a few years ago this interview took place. Now we get an interview that Gizmodo did with Kumar Sivasubramanian, there we go, who is the localizer for Dandadan, and oh, it is bad. It is really, really bad. It's not just, the higher ups telling the localizer to do this. No, the localizer is actively doing this too. I'm just like, what? Oh God, it is bad. It is bad. But anyways, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I definitely want to get to, like, the main things here, because oh my God, I was just so pissed. Here we go. And also, Gizmodo, please, for the love of God, you need to proofread your stuff, because there are some spelling errors here. While serving as a shonen sci-fi fantasy rom-com, Dandadan also depicts pretty, they say heady, it's supposed to be heavy, subject matter like sexual abuse. This topic, God, this topic made distributors like Crunchyroll wary of promoting it as a new series. That's a load of bullshit. That's a load of bullshit. It wasn't that. That was not the reason why Crunchyroll was wary of it. No, they were doing it because, and I think I did cover this. That's bullshit. We all know it's because the marketer still, who was from Netflix, was buddy with the people at Netflix and wanted Netflix to get ahead. That's what it was. So shut the fuck up, Gizmodo. You are full of shit. While there's not much you can do about the imagery on display in the series, which has proven to be a barrier of entry for folks in its early goings, and I love it. I love that it's getting rid of Taurus. seriously, Dandadan, keep gatekeeping yourself. How did you approach localizing the language of those scenes? All right, this is what this mofo said here. My general sense of the language in the series is that it's not really that rough or obscene. Despite the sexualized attacks in the early chapters, the language was light, if you know what I mean. And my feeling is that a word like schlong is going to be funnier than something ruder. For the love of God. Just, ugh. Maybe it's just me, but I find turd funnier than shit for some reason. There was almost no cursing in my original scripts. Now this is where it gets interesting, okay? However, in the early chapters, I didn't translate all of them, and the alternate translator did come in and put in the F word a lot. So this motherfucker was botching localizations already, and guess what? The original alternate says, but I feel like the original translator seems more correct in this case. Since they were translating it, said fuck. They put fuck in the right spots. They were translating it correctly. So bring back that translator, please. Seriously, Viz, you are dumb for not bringing that Maybe that's why they got fired or something, because they had integrity. I don't know, but this is some bullshit. But anyways, this gets really, really weird here. This is where I'm like, I feel extremely vindicated because, as I said, I knew something was sus when Caleb mentioned the stuff with his editor changing his localization. I knew something was sus, and then there was this. Much later on, I'm surprised. I will be surprised if this mofo still has a job after this. Much later on, I got a memo from my editor saying the higher ups at Viz didn't want the F word in the series anymore. I thought it was an odd note since I hardly, fuck you, asshole. I hardly ever used it anyway, and also the series is in Jump Plus. See, even though you're an asshole and don't use it anyway, but I digress. But he thought it was odd because the series is in Jump Plus. This isn't a weekly Shonen Jump series like Boku no Hero Academia is. No, this is in Jump Plus. This is for a more Dandadan is for a mature audience. Shit, it's rated M for fuck's sakes, or older teen, whatever. It's rated M. Like, wow, you have like sexual abuse and shit happening up in there. You say sexual abuse, but you know what I mean. You have all this shit happening in Dandadan. You have like, it's. I just don't get it. What are you trying to do, Viz? Are you trying to say, well, you know what? We're trying to appeal to a larger audience, so you can't have fuck in there because otherwise we can't like lower the rating? Is that what you're gonna do? This is what I said this in my Chainsaw Man live reactions a while ago. I said that the localization, that I said something was sus, that Viz was sanitizing the localization and sanitizing Denji. And that was because they wanted to get, appeal to a larger audience. And so that they could lower the age rating for Chainsaw Man. And God, I feel like this kind of proves it. This proves my point. I have to wonder if they're going to try and do that for Dandadan too, in a way. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to read this again. You got to hear. I'm going to read this memo again here. But first, again, I have to mention this. In the early chapters, I didn't translate all of them, and the alternate translator did come in and put in the F word a lot. I feel bad for that translator because now their work probably got redone, and yeah, their work is correct, and yours is not. You botched it. Like, oh God, I feel so bad for them. And then here we go. Much later on, I got a memo from my editor saying the higher ups at Viz didn't want the F word in the series anymore. I thought it was an odd note since I hardly ever used it anyway. And also the series is in Jump Plus, but whatever. Like, the fact that this mofo said this is like, you thought it was... If this mofo who's already sanitizing this localization thought it was odd, that is a bad sign. But whatever, I'm not the publisher. In fact, the request could have been even originate. No, it's not. Stop it. I'm not the publisher. In fact, the request could have even originated for some reason. It's not going to originate at Kodansha. You're a stupid fuck if you believe that. No, or the artist. I don't know. It's not going to originate at the artist. There's no way in hell that the mangaka is going to request that their work is sanitized. That's not going to happen. I'm going to send. Speaking of, I'm going to send this to Sheilin. I'm going to see what he thinks about this, because this is retarded. I can't believe this mofo straight up came out and admitted that he's botching this localization. Not just that Viz encouraged him to do it. Not encouraged, I'm sorry. Viz ordered him to do it. I can't believe this just happened. But it's not, this mofo, I can't believe how retarded this idiot is. I can't believe he thought that this was coming from Kodansha. Why would it come from Kodansha unless this is Gizmodo being stupid and put Kodansha instead of Shueisha? Gizmodo, if that was you, you are extremely retarded. It's one of the two. I know this localizer is retarded, but I don't think he's that retarded. I think that's a part of me is thinking Gizmodo is extremely retarded and put Kodansha instead of Shueisha. Because if it was this localization that said Kodansha and not Shueisha, then I really questioned it. Oh God, I questioned his integrity. But here we go. I already do question his integrity. I did try to put it in there once in the scene where Vamola dies, and sorry, you're spoiled. Deal with it. You should be up to date with it anyway. And I had Momo scream out "fuck," but I'm pretty sure it got changed. Now this here is important because Caleb Cook said in his interview with I can't remember the translation website's name off the top of my head, but he said that he tried to put like some for Bakugo's dialogue, he tried to put curse words in there, and the Viz editors changed it. So this is consistent with that. It's interesting that Ikinobu Tatsu himself steered away from the sexual material early on as well. Well, what are you talking about? Early on? What are you talking about? He must have not because he said that you didn't translate the early chapters. Bro, you must have not read those early chapters or something, because there was sexual material in those early chapters. You are not reading them. Something like, what the hell? Let me see. Okay, here we go. Weekly. I want to get into this too. Weekly episodes of Dandadan were airing while the manga received new chapters. Out of curiosity, were you keeping up with the anime while translating new chapters? If so, did any of the anime's localization choices impact how you approached translating the manga, or did you compartmentalize them as separate entities? I haven't seen the anime. If I did, I would probably see that the translators. Oh my God, I would probably see that the translators made better choices than me. And I would punch my fist into my palm and say, why didn't I think of... I can't believe he said this. I can't believe he's saying this. I can't wait to see what Sheilin says about this. Oh my God, I cannot wait to see what he says about this. There's no way I don't try to get Sheilin involved. And I'm going to get Hosono involved too. I got to. There's no way I don't try to do that. This is unreal. Oh my God. Okay, now let's get into this. From chatting with letters and translators, I've learned that each series brings unique challenges and something to relish about localizing it. What aspects of localizing Dandadan proved to be an obstacle for you, and what elements of the story did you enjoy most about translating? Oh boy. If you watch my Dandadan live reactions, you know there are certain chapters where I actually had to translate from the Spanish localization, the translation notes, because one, the Viz Media localization didn't have it, and also they used the wrong fucking name for for one of them, which was the demon Karuta. Oh god, that pissed me off so much. But anyways, the most difficult thing is to references to like TV shows from the 70s, or maybe some comedians catchphrase from the 80s or 90s. It's called the fucking internet. My god. Often I have to ask friends in Japan what is this, and they explain to me. It's called leaving it as is and using a translation note. It's not that complicated. Often, and I can kind of translate it and include a note to the editor of my script. Yeah, I barely. Let's be real. If you read Dandadan or almost any Viz localization, you don't see any translator notes. You get lucky if you do. But there's nothing you can really do about it. I don't intend to localize it, but my editor might. What? Or I might offer some suggestions at least. So it's not him doing it. It's the editor that's doing. I swear to God. Okuram referring himself as Jiban, myself, in the very first chapter is a reference to a coffee commercial Ken Takakura did in the 80s that's linguistically and culturally lost in translation. What can you do? It happens sometimes. It's called a fucking translation note. I swear to God, fan translators, I need a fan translation for Dandadan. I can't with this no more. I can't. Translation is approximation. I changed it to I am a fellow, but no reader from any other country is going to get a nostalgia hit from it. You know what? I'm going to give you a good example of a fucking Viz localization that actually does this right. And that is Me and Roboco. Me and Roboco has Japanese comedy. It does. And Japanese references. Guess what? I think it's Stephen Paul that does this one. Yeah, guess what he does? He puts a translation note. Leaves it as is, puts a translation note in there. How hard is it to do it? I don't understand. Who cares? Like, let the people learn. Jesus. The thing I love most about working on Dandadan is that when a series is well written, it's easy to translate. The translation just seems to flow out. I'm not staring at run-on sentences and plot holes, wondering how or even if I should port them over into English. And when the characters have really clear personalities, it's such a joy to give them that voice in English too. Dandadan is really my favorite thing to work on every week. I really don't trust this motherfucker. Okay, let's see. All right. Dandadan is a series of references to yokai, cryptids, and Japanese and American film pop culture. Do you also have to do some legwork to read up on some of the niches and overt references the series often features to make them land as effectively in English as in Japanese? Oh, by the way, there's been some really questionable. There's been. And if you watch my Dandadan live reactions, you know this for a fact. I have seen some like. There's some where it kind of works, and then there's some where it's like a bizarre meme there's some meme localization up in here at times. It's not as bad as say like Rory Dragon has it the worst. Oh my god, Rory Dragon, and I would say Witch Watch gets it really bad a lot too. Oh my god, Witch Watch and Rory Dragon is really really bad with meme localization. Oh my god, those are really bad. Oh god. And Astro Royale had it really bad not too long ago too. And same with the Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. I fucking hate it sometimes when I have to deal with that. Same with Chainsaw Man too, by the way. But anyways, let's see. Okay, yeah. Do you also have to do some legwork to read up on some of the niches and overt references the series often features to make them land as effectively in English as in Japanese? Yes, I do have to spend some time investigating these things. The Japanese pop culture stuff, as I mentioned, often simply dies on the page. It's called a translation note! Jesus Christ! Sometimes these references are so obscure that even Japanese readers would have to Google them. And it's called a translation note! How hard is this? Like, as I said, the Spanish localization has no problem doing translation notes. They don't. You know who else doesn't have a problem doing this? And the Spanish localization is on Manga Plus, by the way. You know what other one doesn't have a problem doing this? Is the the Manga Plus exclusive titles localizers, the English localizations for the Manga Plus exclusives. They have no problem including translation notes. Why do you have a problem doing that? Kodansha doesn't have this problem. They'll include translation notes if needed. Oh, they totally will. I only see this. I think even 7Cs will do it sometimes. Hold on, let me think about this for a sec. Yeah, 7Cs will actually include translation notes sometimes too. They will. But I think Square Enix will as well. It's mainly Viz that has like this fear of translation notes, and I don't understand why. Why are you scared of them, Viz? Jesus. Let's see. Sometimes the reference, yeah, okay. Sometimes the references are so obscure that even Japanese readers would have to Google them. So, what chance does an audience reading a translation have? Again, this is why a translation note is needed. The yokai are not too bad since these days. Many of them have the English wiki pages. So I could just name the creature, and an English reader would be able to look it up themselves. You know what? Here's where you're full of shit. You did this. You named the Demon Karuta card. You needed the fairy tale card instead of the Demon Karuta. You did it wrong, you stupid fuck. You like gave it the literal name instead of like what it was supposed to be, which is the Demon Karuta. I don't understand. I don't get it. You are full of shit, dude. You are full of it. The fairy tale Karuta was such a, or sorry, not Karuta, I'm sorry. The fairy tale card was such a bullshit name. I'm sorry. I'm never gonna get over it. Let's see. The urban legends are very tricky as sometimes they're extremely regional and don't exist anywhere else. Some references I had trouble finding out anything about. There was a recent one about some celebrities having seen miniature people. So weird. Very little info about it. I wonder if even Japanese readers knew what Tatsu was talking about. Oh, God. Okay, let's see if this is... Okay, so Dandadan's ensemble of characters all have unique personalities and patterns of speech. Are there moments when you must refer back to a style guide to keep colloquialisms, dialects, patterns of speech, or power naming conventions between characters straight? And he says this, Localizer says this, not really, because it's a weekly series. I'm basically in a rhythm with it. If a character or something comes back after being away for months and months, then yes, I have to go back and remind myself about it. To be fair, I'm like this too, because but here's the difference between me and this motherfucker. I cover a shit ton of series on my channel. So, and I read a lot of series. So, and my memory is like the worst. So I totally understand. Then yes, I have to go back and remind myself about it. The worst is sometimes a character or plot line comes back and at my age, I've forgotten and treat it like it's new. Also, the editor, Jennifer LeBlanc, is the one that's really making sure the series stays on track in this regard. And also, she's probably responsible for a lot of this shit, too, that's happening in here. Okay, here we go. Which Dandadan character do you have the most fun localizing and why? Oh, tough question. Maybe Turbo Granny? Though I don't know if I've done a good job making her sound like a foul-mouthed old lady. Then again, maybe Yukinobu Tatsu hasn't either. Fuck you, bro! Like, ugh! I hate when localizers do this. Like, fuck you, man! Just translate the shit. Like, why do you have to, like, insult them? I hate this. I hate when localizers think they're better than the fucking mangaka like that. Like, you're a piece of shit, man. Oh, I hate it so much. Let's see, where is the other one that I wanted? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Mangaka Yukinobu Tatsu is a creator who doesn't often take breaks, but has recently researched more for the next arc of the story. That's why I'm pissed off at this motherfucker when he says all this shit about not being able to, like, to be honest, to be fair, because I research some of the stuff too when I'm covering the chapters, and I do have a hard time as well finding some of the stuff. So I understand what he's talking about in that regard. So I'll play devil's advocate on that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you're a localizer. I'm not. you should be doing research on if Tatsu is doing research. You could be doing like and Tatsu's able to find this stuff. You should be able to find it too. And frankly, I should be able to find it because I'm usually good at this stuff. But for recent chapters, have there been moments where you have to predict where the story might be teasing and where it's going next, or do you have words take words at face value while translating? There's no way to predict what might be coming, especially with the series. Although 5 minutes I spent on Reddit, people were pulling together all sorts of threads that I could hardly remember and making predictions based on them. But even then, what might happen down the line or what you think might happen almost never affects what you're translating at the present moment. However, oh god, I'm not looking forward to dealing with this. However, with something like the current Kuki Yukishiro storyline, we don't know the gender of her blackmailer yet. Yep, we're going to be dealing with gender discourse, and that's fine in Japanese, but it's made some of the English renderings awkward. As with every series, to avoid such problems, it would be better if it were being translated in volumes rather than simultaneously every week. Okay, now this pissed me off. When the concept of empty space appeared, I translated it literally, but then I came up again and again and became a core concept. And months later, I realized void space would have been cooler and for a better term that was going to become important and long term. But by then, it was far too late to change it, especially at a weekly pace. Them's the breaks. Mofo, just translate it literally. We don't want your fucking, like, what you think is better. We just want the translation. I can't stand localizers like this. Oh my god. So here's the final part of this. Let's see. In your 20 plus years, he's translated manga for 20 years and he's doing this shit? What is wrong with you? What characteristics of Dandadan make it stand out from other series you've worked on? It's so kooky. He worked on Dragon Ball? Oh my god, that explains so much about the Dragon Ball localization. Because that Dragon Ball localization is ass. Oh my god, that explains so much. Oh, that does. It's like those peak earlier of Dragon Ball comedy is the genre I most gravitate towards reading, but I don't get to translate a lot of it. So Dandadan is precious and is really special and precious to me. It's pure joy. Oh my god, this explains so much with Dragon Ball's localization. It totally does. But now I want to go see what the Reddit says here, because Reddit is pissed. Like, here we go. Oh my god, how long are we? Oh, you got to be shitting me. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is what it says here on the Reddit. It says F word. Are they scared of the word fuck, or is it some other word? Seriously, I noticed that in some anime they would show people getting cut up and basically getting beaten, and even have hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, let me make this bigger. Hold on a second, because I want you guys to be able to see this better. There we go. That's better. Seriously, I noticed this that in some anime they would show people getting cut up, basically getting beaten, and even have elements of like slavery and human trafficking. And yet the only curse word I would hear are like bitch and shit. It's almost like they're already extreme, and they don't need like motherfucker or any other variation of the F word. It's very similar to Americans in our censorship of certain words or nudity, but we will show people getting beheaded, maimed, or other horrible acts of violence. It's just, this is what I mean. This is like the 4KIDSING. I know it's weird that we'll have other cussing, curse words in there, but it's like, I just don't get it. I really don't understand. As Sheila Broflovsky says, horrific, deplorable violence is okay as long as people don't say naughty words. That's what this war is all about. It's a war against Japan. I noticed this too. Ooh, I noticed this too with subs. However, when I watch German dubs with my husband, I hear them say fuck so much, and it really took me by surprise. This was Kaiju number 8 specifically. Makes me wonder if German dubs for Dandadan has fucks in it. That is very weird. I understand some curse words still have the God's wound status, like their words you cannot say unless you you're saying like a couple of Hail Marys after you say them, but I wonder, is seeing a character or monster getting eviscerated or even tortured somehow less worse than saying motherfucker or cocksucker? I mean, I haven't heard a character say Jesus Christ. What? See, we're getting the 4KIDSING of Japanese media. This is getting retarded. You can't say strong curse words in published content, or else you get flagged and blacklisted by Google and other search engines. Well, I say curse words all the time in my videos, and guess what? I can find my content just fine on Google and Bing. Seriously, it's crazy. It's easier to find my videos on Google and Bing than it is on Twitter or YouTube. So yeah. Let's see. I got flagged because in a Ninja Gaiden post it flagged NG3 Kasumi as possible porn. Oh my god! And I had to submit a repeal to get the article unflagged by Google. Fun times. Language triggers the same type of thing. That is crazy. Well, if you're going to show it on live television, like if it's live television, that's one thing, okay? I totally understand that. But because you got to deal with like FCC, the Japanese equivalent of the FCC. I totally get that. Sure. But for a manga, no. There's no, especially if it's an adult manga, no. There's no reason for that. No. Again, I understand, like with Caleb Cook said about Boku no Hero Academia, yeah, it's stupid and it shouldn't be censored like that. Even if they're trying to make it for kids. So that's why they censored Bakugo's language. It's bullshit. Same thing's happening with One Piece too. One Piece and I think we'll see it here. But yeah, see, it says here for Dandadan. Isn't the original manga rated M in the States? Why are they so scared of saying fuck? That's what I don't understand. If they were trying to lower it to like teen or something like that, I could see where Viz is going with it. But it's not even rated T. Like, stop this shit. Stop the fuckery. Ah, yes, profanity on the one show where they get sloppy naked. Let's see. Here we go. See, this is what I meant for One Piece. For One Piece, chapter 1124, I've always read the fan translation for One Piece. I refuse to read the Viz one. For One Piece, chapter 1124, Borsalino called Sakazuki a little shit in the direct translation. In the official translation, Borsalino called Sakazuki an ungrateful brat. As if the official translation of One Piece could get any softer. Even the word beat is too hard and has to transform into hit. Oh my god, hit sounds worse. Dude, like One Piece, like we already had the 4Kids version of One Piece. Now it's happening. Poor One Piece is getting it twice. Wait, hold on. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is very interesting. Like Sakamoto Days on Netflix has incredibly weird subtitles. They add jargon and swear words which aren't reflected in the Japanese spoken language because they knew the violence would get it in an MA. Like Shin said in the original line, "Ah, shut up," and the subtitle had "Get off my dick." I heard they changed it, but that's still a weirdly jarring bit of dialogue, totally in line with localizing swearing. And as a guy who could speak Japanese but knows enough to be put off by bad translations, the acceptable translations are little shit, or since you mentioned the original of Kuso being snot-nosed, little snot would be acceptable. Shitty brat or little brat, snotty brat, this is in regards to One Piece, would sound redundant or too unnatural. Kuso is really the only word I know that pretty much has a direct English equivalent, shit. And regardless of the origin, I've heard characters say Kuso in pretty much the same context as other languages. They say it when in a sticky situation or when talking about something being low quality, kusoge being short for shit game, or even when referring to literal poop / feces. I think the only reason Kuso would ever be translated as fuck would be when it is said in a really derogatory manner by Japanese standards, which would be in Yakuza / delinquent speak. Change snotty nose to snot nose, and hey, maybe that they should have translators make similar changes when their work gets called out. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, see, and I don't want to pay for censored media. It really is that simple. And someone said here, it's just American Puritan culture. If this was being translated almost any other English speaking nation, this wouldn't be an issue. I don't know if Canada, I disagree with that. Canada, this would still be an issue because Canada is a lot more censor happy than the US. I don't know if in the UK this would be the case. But if this was a Manga Plus, if Dandadan was a Manga Plus exclusive, this wouldn't be a problem. We wouldn't be having this issue if this was a Manga Plus exclusive. No, because as I said, if you read any Manga Plus exclusive localization, you wouldn't be seeing this problem. No, guarantee it. You would not be seeing this issue. Let's see if there's anyone here. This here, I added my personal preference. Why do they keep accusing me of adding my personal preference? Oh, I hate that. Same here. The toddler sense of humor. And turd is never funnier than shit. Like, is this dude fucking 5? Yeah, see, fan translations are better. Let's see. This is a good point, though. Japanese doesn't have an equivalent for fuck, though. There's no real equivalently strong curse words except maybe shit. This here, then they would lose their job. No one is going to sacrifice their job for something like this. I'm not talking to the translator. My comment is referring to the higher ups. Yeah, and if their options are losing their job or losing their job, looks like they're gonna lose their job then. Let's see. See this here too. If people can say fucking PG-13 movies once or twice, then the same should go for anime. And I agree with this one here. And meanwhile, in the Spanish dub, they went all out with the language, which is true. If you look at the Spanish localization for Dandadan, yeah, they do go all out with the cursing. But I'm very curious what you guys think about this whole situation. I mean, for me, the fact that this mofo straight up said that he sanitized the language in Dandadan, and it wasn't just him that he was doing it. It wasn't just him. That an alternate translator was translating it correctly. I know that what they were saying here about the fuck or whatnot, not being there wasn't a, Japanese speakers. Let me know in the comment section what's going on with the fuck translation. I want to know because like the person that was doing the alternate translator was putting curse words in there, and it doesn't seem to be an issue. But then the Viz editors higher ups came in and said, no more. But like, it doesn't make sense. Like, again, I can understand, even though it's fucked up and I don't like it, it shouldn't be happening at all. For Boku no Hero Academia, I can understand why they wanted to go that route because, as Caleb said in the interview, they were saying that they were trying to appeal to a larger demographic. They wanted to get as many books sold as they can. And they wanted to make sure it was at the right rating, and that meant that they couldn't have curse words in there. But Dandadan is an adult rating. There's no excuse for this. There's no excuse for this shit. None. So I don't know why you're Viz. I don't understand why you're doing this when there's unless Viz is trying to get the rating lower to the same as Chainsaw Man, which is like older teen, I believe it is. There's no reason for this. I don't understand. I don't. As I said, I sent the article to Sheilin and Hosono. I hope you guys do. If you guys are going this route like I am, please be polite. Just say that, the Viz localizer of Dandadan said this, basically admitted that they are botching the localization, and that the Viz higher ups basically ordered him to do it too, and then ask them to investigate it. That's what I did. But man, this is just insane. This is just fucking insane to me. It is. And the fact that he and the Viz editors won't put translation notes irritates the hell out of me. Just put a if you can't do it, just put a translation note. And for those that are going to say, again, if someone's going to say, oh, they can't localize it, this is just how, like, blah, 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 blah. That's a lot of bullshit, because the Manga Plus exclusive localizations, they don't have any issues. You might say the only problems I've seen every once in a while with Manga Plus localizations, Drama Queen, that's a whole different thing. I talked about Drama Queen. There's that issue. That's a whole different beast. But outside of the Drama Queen situation, I've seen maybe like a typo or two, but I've never seen it botched outside of Drama Queen. I have not seen a botched localization out of a Manga Plus exclusive title. I've not. And I've also gotten opening and closing texts. I've gotten translation notes, and this is why I keep saying I keep trying to get Hosono to get, or just in general, I've been trying to get this for like ever, is for Manga Plus, especially with subscriptions now. It's like, dude, just get your own localizations. Let Viz do their, even though I don't like that Viz is doing it. Like, seriously, just have your own localizations. I just don't understand. There's no excuse for this. None. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you guys think of essentially the 4KIDSING of Dandadan. Oh my god, I can't believe that this localizer confessed to the 4KIDSING of Dandadan. As I said, I covered it. I knew it was happening with at least Boku no Hero Academia, based on what Caleb Cook was saying. But to have this mofo admit that it was basically happening with Dandadan, that just blows my mind. And of course, it sounds like this mofo was localizing Dragon Ball too. And it definitely explains a lot. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. Love what we're doing and want to help keep this operation alive and kicking so we can keep bringing you more Dandadan content and also localization. And, so we can keep bringing you more localization coverage. If you always can do that, donate to our Cash App, PayPal, Patreon. Also hit the thank you button, because that really helps as well. Those are in the description box and the bottom of the screen. Also, purchase something oh my god. Also follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, friend us on PlayStation Network. That's in the description box below as well. And until next time, I will be seeing you later. Bye.